The reason why we're even doing this is because I wanted to know your story about getting out of debt.
Yes.
You know, I'll leave you guys with a number. How much did you guys ended up clearing in debt?
About.
All right, guys, how are you?
Good. We're really
Doing great.
excited.
We were here just setting up, so thank you guys for your patience.
Of course.
Love it.
So, can you guys introduce yourselves?
Sure.
And then what do you guys do? How old are you? What's your occupation?
Sure. So I'm Maggie, and I recently became a mental health counselor. So in the past year, that's what I've been doing. Giving therapy, helping people work through trauma and issues in their life.
Yeah. My name is Louis. I am 32 years old, and I not recently, but I just got my CDL, so I became a truck driver, and that's my occupation right now. Just a truck driver.
Nice. The reason why we're even doing this is because I wanted to know your story about getting out of debt.
Yes.
I'll leave you guys with a number. How much did you guys ended up clearing in debt?
About like $100,000.
$100,000, yeah.
In like 29 months.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that doesn't include like being paused, what like Dave Ramsey calls like when big things kind of come up, you have to pause. Putting away money to pay the debt because like bigger things are happening in life.
Right.
So there were some times where there were bigger things happening and we couldn't put towards the debt because we had to get something else, like a car or pay for school.
Yeah. Just
So
cash flow.
29 months is when we were actively paying the debt.
Now, what made you even start doing this? Only because a lot of people don't ever do this. They just say, I'm just going to stay in debt for the rest of my life. So what motivated you to even start this process? What is the conversation that you guys had?
Sure. So I mean, Louis really, he was the one who kind of brought up who Dave Ramsey was. I kind of learned about him in school.
Yeah.
But he was really like, I've been listening to his YouTube and I think that we could do it. Like, let's put the numbers together. And, we put the numbers together and it would work out that we could pay it off, right? I mean, it was such a big number, but we could do it. We just had to make changes.
Yeah, it definitely was because, growing up, our parents never really taught us about money and stuff like that. So it kind of clicked one day, and I was doing Uber at the time, and it just clicked one day, and I was like, and I started listening to him, and I'm like, something has to change. Like, there has to be something different.
Right.
Tired of living paycheck to paycheck.
Right, like the average American.
And we don't really enjoy life. We're always stressed out and struggling. So that's when I was like, let's do this, So,
Yeah.
Now that you guys are willing to share, where did most of the debt come from? As far as was it more school related? Was it just because you guys were crazy with a credit card?
Okay, so definitely a big portion of it was student loans, right? We did have, of course, like credit card debt. We had car loans, but the big portion of it was student loans.
Debt,
And that was my part.
Yeah.
Now, can you name a time throughout this 29 months?
29 months, yeah.
Do it where it almost seemed like we shouldn't be doing this. Should we just stop? Because all this money we're going into payments. We could have just gone on vacation.
Many times.
Right.
Many times.
Many times, but I can honestly say this past month was literally the hardest. And it was so crazy because we were just so close and cars were breaking down. And I'm having to work like so many different shifts because, we're working together to kind of come up with this money, having this goal. And I think what really kind of made it a little bit stressful was telling people that we were going to be out of debt by the end of the month, right? But, I mean, it was good because it kept us accountable. It kept us, going the last month because we could have easily just been like, next month, right? Like we could have easily been like, no, like let's just kind of buy the car now and fix the car now and next month we'll get out of debt.
Yeah, because it was also like we've had money saved. Like we've probably had like at one point we had like $10,000 just in the bank saved, and we were like, oh, what are we gonna do with this? And she was more on the side of like, oh, I don't want to let it go, this and that. But I was like, just rip the Band-Aid off.
Just do
right
it.
away, just do it.
Yeah.
I was always like that when we had that amount of money.
Right.
I was always like, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
And Dave Ramsey, he never recommends leaving money like in the account like that because of that reason, right? You see the money, it's so high. You've never had this type of money, right? Because we live in low income households. So having $10,000 in the bank is a lot. So seeing that just like go to somebody is just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys faced any criticism in doing this journey? Because, like I said, not everyone else just does this. Everyone just thinks, "Oh, let's just let's squander the money. Let's go to a vacation. Let's go to a party, buy a house, for example." Because $10,000 could at least it's some sort of down payment.
Yes. It is.
Yeah, I think I was very proud to talk about what we were doing. Not saying not to like boast or anything like that. And it was just more to show people that anybody can do it. You know, we're not like that. We're not people like, oh, look at me, beat my chest, and stuff like that. But we're more like, like this is what's helping us get ahead, and. It really wasn't, we really got more support than anything.
Right. And I mean, the only criticism that we ever got was us being cheap. I think that was the only thing, right? Because we had such a big goal at paying this $100,000 that we were very frugal with our money.
Yeah.
So, and the way that other people perceived that was like, oh, like they should have money, right? Like they have good jobs, they should have money. Why are they being cheap? Right, so I think that's the only criticism that we really got. Besides that, it was just a lot of support. Yeah.
Guys, I'm assuming you guys didn't eat out as much. Everything was.
Man, let me tell you, it was. We love to eat,
Yes.
like everybody loves it. We love to eat.
Right.
But it was. We did kind of like.
We cut back.
We cut back a
we
little bit.
We definitely did cut back.
And that we always told each other, what would Dave Ramsey think? Like things like that. But we're just like, we wanted to enjoy life,
Right.
and that's pretty much it. Like it is a hard process.
Yeah.
Because you gotta cut back on a lot of things.
Right.
And it's not easy. It's not easy.
You gotta include things like, for example, subscriptions, things like Netflix. Is that part of the stuff that you would also cut back, or are there specific things that were like, hey, these are things that absolutely we don't need it?
Yeah.
Right. I think shopping was a big thing. I'm like a big shopper, right? We didn't go to malls. We go to malls, we spend $500 more, right? So that was like a no-go. It's like we don't go to malls, right? We try not to do restaurants. I mean, like things come up and we commit to like maybe birthdays and we'll go, and then sometimes we'll say no, and some people will get upset, but I mean, like the goal is the goal, right?
Yeah.
So, we tried our best. We did limit like vacations as much as we can because we love to travel. And if we did go on vacation, it was like a recent wedding that we went to. So it was like kind of something that I felt like I really needed to go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And now for people who are in debt now, or kind of in some situation, or maybe even worse, what would be like a message or some sort of strategy, even if something small, to kind of help them? It's like, hey, how did you guys do it? Like, what made you even just get started? Like, you don't have to run up piece by piece, but just get their feet wet, and then they can learn how to develop.
I know debt is something very normal in society, and some people are probably not gonna, listen to whatever we have to say. But one thing I would say is don't think about the right now. Think about tomorrow, because right now we're young, and we should just, bust our behind and get it out of the way, so when we get older, we can enjoy life until the day that we die, So just, I would say, think about tomorrow. Don't worry about what's going on right now, because right now is just going to hold you back from enjoying life later on.
Yeah.
That's
and
what I would say.
I would say really like prepping yourself. I think we did that too, where, before we actually committed to, going gazelle intense and really paying off the debt, we made a plan, and we had to do a lot of big steps prior to even paying off debt. Like we moved out of our 1-bedroom apartment, we moved into a studio, at a family's home in a basement. So like we currently still live there, right? Because that was the goal, was to move out of our apartment, move into a family's, the basement apartment, and pay off debt. And then from there, we're able to have more money saved, maybe get a house, get an apartment. And so I think planning is like a really big step to even, making it successful.
Yeah, what's part of the $100,000 debt?
So the credit cards, it was, we had 10 credit cards. It was $12,400. We kind of paid that in 4 months.
Yeah.
And then we had the car payments, 2 car payments. That was about $15,000, and we paid that in 5 months. And then it was about $73,000 that we had, and we paid that in 20 months for student loan debt. And on top of that, because it was much less, it was $50,000 when we were starting the process, but since I went to get my master's, $20,000 went on top of it. But then we actually cash flowed $24,000 for my second year of my master's because we were like, we're not going to take another loan. So yes, it's $100,000 that we paid off, but we invested so much more, like maybe $130K during the 3-year experience that we had. So it was a lot of money.
Nice. Awesome.
And I would say one thing, a message for people is live under your means.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things is sometimes people start making a lot of money and more problems come. So even if you're making 100, live like if you're making 40,000. You know, that's a smart way to live. You know, most people want to show off. You know, Instagram and all these things, and that's a big problem. You know, with debt. You know, people do things so that other people can like them. People that they don't even know.
They get cars, you know, they buy things and they can't even afford it.
And trust me, I love cars. Cars are like, I love cars, but I think about what's more important.
Our future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have my car in the future, you know, a nice
When it's
something,
cashed,
you know?
right?
Yeah,
When
cash.
you buy
Yeah, cash, maybe. That's it.
Cash is king, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
I think one of the ones that I would want to, you know, obviously invest in, like, we talked about properties, you know, like obviously, like, you know, you have your 401ks, Roth IRAs, and all those things that obviously we're gonna invest together in. But I think one of the things that we want to do is like we want to get a bookstore, you know. And I think
Telling my dream.
yeah, but that's like I don't really have one yet, but I think it's owning property. You know what I'm saying? And I guess going off of that, you know, and making money so that we can, you know, probably when I'm 50 years old, I can retire, you know. And I think, you know, just pretty much it for me.
Yeah, and I think for me too is, you know, definitely the bookstore, right? That's the big business that I would love to have. But also a house, right? Like a really nice house, have kids, kind of invest into them and, you know, kind of give them like the tools and the skills that's needed to, you know, grow their money when they get older and how to use money. Because now that we're doing this, right, we're going to have kids and we're not going to be in debt. You know, and they're going to know what it is to actually have money in the account, right? And they won't really be coming from a low-income household. Yeah, and that's the goal.
Yeah, and having those investments to pass those investments on down, you know, so that they can live comfortably. You know, not saying that I want to give my kids everything, but I want to teach them, you know,
the value
of what money is and you know where the hard work came from. You know, I'm not gonna put that in their face. You know, like some of our parents do that. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna try. We want to change our family tree. That's the whole reason why we're doing this.
And this is definitely part of it. Building wealth is
Building
getting
wealth,
out of debt.
Building wealth and just keep on investing and making more money.
Yeah, and giving, right?
Giving.
The more you give.
Right, and that's one thing. You know, us coming from, you know, our Christian background, you know, and that's also one of the reasons why we want to get out of that, so we can give, you know, and not always like me, you know what I'm saying? And it's just to give, you know, obviously accordingly, you know, not just like, oh, here all the time, but, you know, accordingly to, you know, how we want to give.
Right, yeah.
Do you have another follow-up? We're good?
No, good.
Okay, guys, thank you guys again for showing up. It was a pleasure. I can't wait to share this with everybody.
Oh, I can't wait either.
That's a wrap.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good.